say South Africa was almost reset to a my home year, home by friend. Omon ko abakosemu. So omo ko abakosemu anka ombe hu so omo mine once say wode wonsa aka ahwoho no until you do a real spiritual healing. No. O mine to me say nye papa biemu da.
But you see be mama.
Me say once say wode wonsa ebeka ahwoho. It is say wode wonsa wo Nyankopon ani kosia. Se wamra wansi ya munumuna ho manyankopon amfa wo bone amfa anche wo a oman ne nye papa biemu da. If you say what kind the book of Amos, I think chapter 1 verse 6 what they call when nyankopon come for 3 transgressions of Gaza, for 3 transgressions of Assyria, Syria, Ammon, and then even Israel. Na ni nyina ne ye de ban ni nyina ye ahoho a womo eha won na the moment a wo be ha hoho no eye bone kase papa nyame ka se for 3 transgressions or maybe no the legal limit of sin of transgression eye miensa etra miensa o man wo ye hu bibia enye Ghana ye bone ankase miensa ewo Nyankopon ani so the overthrow of Kwame Nkrumah. Wow. The expulsion of the Nigerians from Ghana, and then the execution of General Champon and his followers. Say Sanwoma miensa we Ghana prophets remember mobo obi edi wa hanam nim say omu nyina etie me so omu anyai World Cup Ghana ye bedru ha na country we na beje MPP ni NDC we na be wuri we bre no mu anwene o man ni nyina ho a o man no me ka kire ye be kwa kwaji sika $1 billion every day o man no entumi en reset da
na che say ye bone atie
nyame 3 transgressions no the legal limit na ye 3 no ya miensa ni nyina enti fe na me ba be yi wasem no ano.
Nice one.
The year 1969 I think January one yes towards the end of 69 no and ye Professor K. Buzia edisi akonwa so omo etu Nkrumah no tu no 1966 omo di almost 3 years wo akonwa so na ya handi over the ma oman no ya handi over edema Professor K. Buzia no na ohunu se Nkrumah nye obi akọ IMF ankwa nkoji sika Kwame Nkrumah so pan-Africanist into oma bibifo nyina begu oman wese mu a wo mu ye adwuma Ghana for so tumi tukwan ekọ wiase baabia eno echi no enam se Ghana ne Nigeria, Gambia, Sierra Leone ne ye nyina ye Britain for colonies no British West Africa enti sa amai for way na obi atumi tukwan ekọ ne yonko mamu ekokodidwa ekotena ho ye adwuma tesania wote wa wukurom enti ye wodi ankase bi te sa wote sa hare soya kilapa soya mo wine kislihe for the din bebre a omo asefo kislihe for the Ghana soya ne from Nigeria from Sierra Leone so many of these people from other countries ebabegu ha adwuma wote famous judge bidin Akewumi Nigeria ni obabetena Ghana ha na family no ayete say Ghana for sana Professor K. Buzia ebabeto ye simply because British West Africa no na ebom baako etese oman baako na ne entira Sierra Leone for bebre ba ha no Furabe College, the only university then in West Africa. Na obekwa be wie no wunya adwuma o Sierra Leone na ese wo ba Ghana afei Nigeria so free tetete ahonyo da nti no man we mu na eye fertile ema obiara ebabi okay. Nti at the time Professor K. Buzia babedi ade no na amanfrafo bebre ewo hatitiriw Nigeria fo ewo man we say mu. Now Buzia was the number 1 enemy to Nkrumah. Inti ade Nkrumah ye bia na adwene say o say no ana o sakremu. The first one, the whole of Africa aka bom say ye fight apartheid South Africa. Buzia be ye prime minister no or say dialogue Ghana and South Africa be ye one, and it was a big frustration at the international level because Ghana there yen lead the African unity ni bibia nkroma free one na buy we say South Africa for be ye nuanom. That means Mandela mo a wo mu dem ani ayi nyina emfa Professor Buzia ho ade ba ko afei okokọ ye a how wo man ni nyina o devalue Ghana cedi no to the extent to say cedi ni be ye say paper bi ewo international level. Nya nonko factories ankroma bia enani nye ho ese close one down workers are eye adwuma ese ye pam won ye obi bi the Apollo 568 wayi wo mu a eye top managers 568 very good buzi apam wo mu nyina case ni koduru court wase won fa Supreme Court asem enye adwuma na the worst of all ubedi akonwa no anibo so miensa ena Nigeria for especially etiyema mu ha no wo hye emra se omu entum free wo man ni mu nko within 2 weeks.
Wow.
Ama min kan se mi fanchi wo se Nigeria for na ete Ghana no
as at that time no na omu nte se na Ghana for na ewo Nigeria in the 80s no a ye pam wo no ma min ka the difference no. Okay.
And it's a Nigeria for na ete Ghana at that time. No more better from colonial time. Until now, omuti wa main muti se omu ye Ghana for. Until a pam omu a omu koni nano. Se no free tamale ne kwa okada gumba ne hausa dada. Ofri nkran ne kwa okan kran. Wo free a friend se takra dia na Cape Coast oka emfanti ofri Kumasi okachi. Emma omu produce nkrofo omu be ye Ghanaian citizens a hwe obi ti say Alhaji Gbedemosi obeye headmaster Tamale secondary school at RTU hwe obi ti say Sule Shitu one of the finest Ghanaian boxers hwe obi ti say Mudalawa Black Star defender Benkaye de Dankaye de Olympics say what they want me to na usa
oh yeah
me kura na usa na no mbobo pa
I mean by kura
and omu kuta Nigeria ne but they were Ghanaians. Africa's best player, 11th African Cup of Nations. Your friend say, Golden Boy Abdul Razak.
Yeah.
We know munya Ghana for that. But parents or grandparents are better now. And the Buzia say, Omomu 2 weeks omunko. Those people were not laborers. Omu ye land owners. Omu ye landlords. And what he did was that. Yetu Nkrumah no ye opponent to Kwame Nkrumah. Na Nkrofo de no susu Kwame Nkrumah. Nkrumah ye Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Where ye Dr. K. Buzia. Osan Chiradi University went through the highest level. Our ye professor. Na so ye bibi o kire say Osene Kwame Nkrumah. Di osaje fo aye no. Wan to so ye so say no kra. Nti ne de ne say wo pamo a letter fo nyina de afiri wo memu. Na wa magana fo ani age adentira. One business is a kuta one semini now the Bema Ghana for just to please the people of Ghana.
Me ba that time no Ghana for complaining about Bibiana.
Me da se pa near complaining about a Juma because wababe devalue sidino Emma ukra no ma we there bibia say devaluation. What I say inflation kasia I am inflation aba ntina frustration aba o manimu. Number 2, factories and come be no that's what I started saying. Now we're close bebre down. Amanfo enya adwuma enye. Enti ne de ne say wo mo na ye business wo Ghana no. Business nkwane ade a wan ko school a wutumi ye be straight away. Enti I saw gi won business ni free won sem. Na say amanfo ATM ya mamen kan se bi fan kiro. Na Ghana fo anim store ye o. Oh yes kwa fo de ye de didwa. Kwa fo ye store mesrewa Nigeria for na be kire Ghana for. Ni enim ade a friend store and let me emphasize it. Ni enim and who be bia ye enka ye culture ho. Ghana culture no and no ne say te say abofo adwa Thursday Ghana for yin na be hia wo dinidwa no de ko. Watone body watone kwadu watone nam watone say ni ono so de body ba watonton wi a watone nchene watone nam watone ntoma no kwa ni baby another week na wasan aba agran kwantedwa techimandwa tamaledwa asesewa what you say ye de na ye jada no man be sa 1 week ni asan aba na pass ye bie stores no eye Nigerians na betena ha bie stores
enti Nigeria for no omo no be copy abrofo ne say Ghana ni onim store na de ban. And you have to say the truth.
Wow.
Ghana ni nim store de ban no. Na broni ne dia na ya GB Oliver ni US ni UTC money ade and later Kwame Nkrumah de GNTC e bae. Ya dia ne say okwa okoto ade ne bulk. Enti se matches a on se matches ni a rubber ne fam ho no. E kase pa bi a matches be 10 or 20 pieces in a room. E cigarette Frebi Embassy, Tasker, Daba, Kings, 55. Near your farm, Smile, your Kotoba. Boxing in an Maku 20. Into Kotobra over Fana, Papa Tiano. So what I say, whiskey or top bottle, a sea what I say. And a Nigeria for one who trick be said, where ye a dear Ghana for no co rastore numu eto if above abrofono ye nim store at the buy into Nigeria for ni be one stores into cigarette na me see a shemu 20 no one ko broni no one be wura Nigerian store no a ono ne dia no what 20 na no into wo ba otumi cigarette stick ba ko pe
any friend retailing no
and no ne friend na letter dwa and no ne friend na letter edwa enti sanchene a ade na hyem na broni wakova ne kama ho fefefen aleta ni wayi na ode konko ade atoso ba
ena osa wo konko
wasa konko mu dia mo matches ya wate matches na no to betuma yi matches ba ko matches adaka no ketwa ba ko nya adaka kase na 20 no the amount wo mu na ye aleta dwa ana wo nya sika sisi adanka siankase Accra New Town malokwamo uko baby to say takrade ya baby de Lagos Town uko takwa ye walata castle what Astoria night club when I call school elementary school what you say enti Nigerians na etian wo mti won say eye odefo the next one farming wo mu ya omo nti say Ghana yan yata ya afuo bi for 5 acres wase waya ade Nigeria ni be do be 100 acres because womu mine no so womu ye bibi womu ye na nkase enti sa ade we ya Nigeria for ye omete won ase no na buzi ama won 2 weeks hwe obi okuta dan bi a 10 won krana Kumase obi oye landlord wo Accra ne ma ekɔ school omu nyina ye te se Ghana for ye aben adwuma no wa classify won say omu nya Ghana for obiom obia entu enko na me mamu 2 weeks what will happen enti nokura pa wom say ye kan ye sakra firi ho na nya say ye niwu ene say ye pam won ye wi a won wajapade nyina.
Wow.
Oh yes. Wow. Ye pam won and ye wi a won wajapade nyina just to please the people of Ghana. Ni on pesa wo ba wi na japade a dying to say sir Peace FM dan we ya esia na sanka ne boy $20 million Nigeria ni so ton 100,000 Ghana cedis send ye bo biti sa 2 weeks no anya sa ye beche no e de na to wapamu nipa no awie a okọ look at what we did to them when me say me fa book mfa nko station bia for the avoidance of doubt because to the bia wo kasa na obi na no ko kasa obi papa bi me mpese mo boni di na no I proud me ka your friend say Sergeant Ajete kwa Nkrumah mo fa so Nkrumah chiro letter eno ne petition no mdi kwa wo de obegina ba bi ka say mimi ni me hwe eno ehu abufuo nti na me be read we de a chiro me pa cho tie book ya me ba be read book ni de General Echampon the life and times of Ghana's head of state author no bafo agimandua obi enimi so ya professor kase ewo oman wesemu pepacho page 52 hwane author no professor no hwasama oka Professor Buzia Alliance Compliance Order no pepacho hwane eyi kan ho asem professor bafo agimandua kan ho asem ha o say the Alliance Compliance Order which restricted non-Ghanaians from engaging in the retail and agriculture sectors was the other immediate measure that had ramifications for the Buzia administration. The act did not only restrict but also ordered those already in those sectors to leave the country. Nationals from West African sub-region, particularly Nigerians, were most affected. Apparently, the government believed that Ghanaians would be empowered economically by handing to them these huge and lucrative sectors of the economy. What you say? Mami repeat it.
Repeat it.
The government believed that Ghanaians will be empowered economically by handing to them these huge and lucrative sectors of the economy.
But you're breaking it down. So
Mami to assume can be big. Or say to facilitate and supervise the final departure of these aliens. He called them aliens.
Yes.
A number of military officers were deployed at the country's main exit points. Ignatius Kutwe Champon was among the officers sent to the Ghana-Togo border crossing at Aflao. The area was flooded with thousands of swaddling men, women, and children packed on top of their belongings in open mummy trucks. They were spending days to be processed.
Wow.
To be processed before crossing the border. So, obi awo pamun wo. What say yan processing one son why then? What we across the border and patch mamin to us. The uncontrolled influx soon turned Aflawo into a chaotic sea of bewildered deportees, languishing in repulsive, insanitary conditions. Anytime a champion went back home, obi owadwiro nimi nyansa wa bade anyame na ebo no e champion hwew so jeni eso onkwohwe no mmoro nkrofo na ompam won no. Look at the feeling of General Champon. Anytime a champion went back home to his family on short breaks, he complained bitterly and at times almost in tears about the horrible conditions of the so-called aliens he had to deal with. What hurt him most was to see pregnant women who could hardly contain their conditions and yet had to struggle to go through the process.
Wow.
He could not understand how one African government could treat fellow Africans as if they were animals. He complained to the Minister of Defense about the inhuman treatment meted out particularly to women and children and was rebuked for not behaving like a soldier.
Wow. Now I say when you bosire mukan ya tro book but my book no title ni for those who
General Champon, the life and times of Ghana's head of state.
Wow.
Enti kwaya ye fa so aye yi Nigeria for ni ana me say me kan ni sort ye wi a wo mo japade nyina because obi japade e $10 million na wo de e hye di ato no so free o man ni mu nko
in 2 weeks
na on to men so am fan ko no na ton ma 10 cedi say won say wa bo no kro no pa e bi so mu ja hokwa and when they were living say wo ye phone calls and company for no I chime me ne be ka kire I was 5 years then. And when they were living, titam wa ye pam wo mu no mu kono mu stores no na madam fu bi obefrɛ me ne ye kɔ na milk I was so mo na ye kɔ bobo anu ne ye no ko wiawia milk na ye no I was 5 years I was born in 64 69 me hu pa se ye kɔ papa lo fa ne store e wo nsaem ne ye kɔ wiawia milk akraketwa ye nim ne ye. Now when they were living they were cursing the country. They were cursing Ghana say ye nye ye da because mamen kan ensi subiem say they were not living here like that is yes omu free as omu ya letter for no mo be part of our society.
Yes.
And now omu na kire ye dwadie nti Nigeria for two won wase no and ye nya nkrofo bi te say kwawufuo eba be share ho na ye nti na aban na adwene ye say wabedi no eso ye bibi di please o man because wo hu say sa mamuo no nkroma respect onya ni hey ye ni show boy ni ade no ono so upebi na upebi obi na ukoko wia no until that was the first xenophobic attack in West Africa.
Wow.
Now let me tell you the repercussions. Emma is shocking the whole African continent because Ghana ne omaya eye OAU ana AU ni kwafare bai ni yaka Pan-Africanism yaka African unity nti eye den na 1963 woma ye di OAU NDC was a before you know come on back 64 65 66 67 68 69 just 6 years after that we say bibi ni bi oti woman no anya dey onko so a one man enough time 2 weeks so I was the soldiers akogu border now no say obi a woko bia no yensam processing one san wako enti ase any say
ye process den
say you who say we a foreigner. I don't know the wisdom behind it. Now eyewitnesses me dey na me D5 na mpanimfo say so many Nigerians ma eyiraye because I say we two America soldier for the wait. The whole kernel oye in charge oba no oba besu no se treating human beings as animals indigenous mo ye cool the two general the two Professor K.A. Buzia na se hu se na yade ya nti eba ne sa no the whole West African countries ni na ebufu Ghana se pam obia na Nigeria for na edoso nti no mu din ba beda so nti West African countries ni nyina ne Ghana aka nti one of the factors ema ECOWAS by na no Echampo 2 Buzia 1972 na se or try say obema West African countries ni nyina etumi assign account bom aye baako ne de Ghana for bone acheye ena okoko hu Nigerian head of state General Yakubu Gowon na nipa miene tenase na ono di Ghana for Ghanaian head of state enim not try say Ivory Coast for Burkina Faso, Togo, Benin, Mauritania, Niger, Mali, Wan omu nyina de Ghana bo ne becha ni asaye baako and eventually they felt to say yemfa de bi fancy wa ebo West Africa ho ban na omampani bi antumi ansore anya ne Ghana aye ni biem and no the formation on May 28, 1975
African Union
of the Economic Community of West Africa States. ECOWAS. No. Until the first xenophobic attack, which was worse than South Africa, worse than anything you can imagine. No.
Hey, now where do you papa woman school mo?
Say, anunti na me so me boma me ho abaso kakra ne say me ba your system ni mu no ma metwen adi piepie. Ebi ni sa no me. So Ghana for no ma ya cash sweeping everything under the carpet. Ya boni ankase me ansapa etia onyankopon. Anytime bia wo be time foreigner no. Na so unsa wo time nyankopon because wo kum no ma me no papa ni wo no ma kan bia ma no.
Oh. Na is papa the echo so South Africa ne ya omu luti omu wura man for shops no ebi esi Ghana da.
Yes ebi esi yen ne ekofa bai.
Wow.
Enti mentumi ka say yen ekofa bai no. Eyade eso omu ye bi nanka so omu sua se ye kofa baye na ye man ni ye papa biem ebesi ene na Professor Buzia no de baye no ending of 69 and no de ebaye o November nti ye kan say January 1970 another January 72 and ye two na ban eguye and the free ones or mining your papa beam to no coffee ban or no di Kenya and one searching and then your toss be or mine. Now we can talk about the Nigerian one.
Wow. Hey, Abako say boy, they say Ghana ni bia otibia and what you know because these are things they don't tell us because omunim say nya de papa nti they shake carpet na say
ade nya de papa no menua wo kama obiate na maya nkwa ye bi won say asori obi kobo adwaman obi koye nyinsan a onni kuna na onware wo ba no a wonum sa sorry for mfansi o ye tu nipa ne ma obegina nipa anim I say church board aka wasem awie ye hu sampa woni obi akwanyema nipa no o meware ho nti I say ye tu eno nche say ye gu anim ase ye such that obia enye biem nti ade a enye papa no ye mfansie ye ka ema obia etibi no man no head of state foforo bi ama so no so ba be bi.
Wow. Nti papa mami mbusa o nti ekoba se ye pam Nigeria for no komu krom no retaliation be no so de my back
ye pam won kwa won krom no ancha na nyame di nhira kase bi de ma won the oil boom. Nigeria discovered oil emebe one of the world's leading producers of oil emesika ba ho ma ejitewu nti na ese Ghana ni biara ebo ne ketem so no so beko Nigeria and the difference between Ghana for and now Nigeria and Nigeria for now Ghana ni say ya no bia no was me family ekoi so be the year quiet was extremely insignificant and 1% ya de ne say ya hu say Nigerian naira no o na eso was saying dollar no kra ana eduru bnabi kwa na esan wo so say pound e ba fam na ne pound no be 1:1 nti Ghana for no yanyansa mu no etumi kwaye adwuma no a na yasesa into dollar ne pound outside the country be a foreign account nti at a certain level na cha utumi fa Nigeria ko Europe and US easily nti say obi kura wo Nigeria na wo US and Britain na ni mrew nti yan de ye koye wallet to warasa yankoye se ekosisi adan Ghana ni bia no obetumi de nsa e de asi ne bo se na Nigeria for era ne shops ewa ha mu adan ankase a wokọ Accra New Town properties ewa wo nyina ye one day ye pam wo mu ne ewie ne saa no mani nyina no wo mu no Ghana for ho no bia ni property bia ekoye wallet to warasa ne ye sika na ya ba saa na students vacation Ghana ni bako akoye adwuma 1 month obebokuta provisions bebre no de aba phone wo hanka nkofo bedi ho adanse
ye bebie
na ye yes ade we to waso no anche na oil prices no fall heavily and Nigeria sha say enya problem te say Ghana so enya problem ni nyina mu no already other sources one source no and they said the economic shock in Nigeria nya na mo pam if I say foreigners in reality no more so for 2 reasons. The first reason was that the Nigerian president then Alhaji Shehu Shagari na the best friend pa and Dr. Hila Liman Ghana Third Republic president no na Dr. Hila Limani na downfall ene your friend is Shagari. Anna Rollins betu your friend is Shagari. Sorry, Liman aben guye. Anye Shagari de. Nti oye na dwen so be punish Rollins pa. Oye na dwen so be punish Rollins says what to aban na gudia. Then it's good. It shows to say Oman na enya papa nti waba ne de oman ye papa je won krofo na fa wo eko nti wono nso ye the same order no say ahowo bi e wo ho no onsan na chinko ne kurum na de ma ehwo da ho me hu say enya economic reasons na ye tit for tat na so no so ma in 2 weeks so omu entu emra no musu di echi e buyen na the difference no ene say woman de once say wo betena ka mu wo kwa wo baabi no wodi wani ahwe Ghana kwan so no obi amfa
checks bia ni baabi na say wo kwa baabi
no mo manufacture bags bia fa ne Ghana must go say Ghana ni ba kwato bi na pack no magum nti afie wura no ono de afie wura nti say Nigeria ni no ha no ye fie wura ye gi ni fie no we de Ghana ni na ye tenant ne amount Ghana must go load no ma na pe baby
Ghana must go
and edino ebabeka so na yen yade na awe hosem no ene say enam say Rollins who say Shagari na pam Ghana for no so mo emra no wadwen say Nigerian soldiers de won ho ahyeshem amba be yeku atu na ban no egu enti there was close to 2 million Nigerians Ghanaians no more do border no so na Ghana government is so omie border ne da the citizens ni be wu awo mu
security threat
what you say na ya na Ghana for ya be wo we go for president Wallace ya be dwene ho menti ase o be dwene ho menti ase o hwe na o mampani pani tua se ne man emma ewu ehye so mu ya santifo mu ya befuo so mu ya konkomba na numba de gomba se fionze mo wasa hantem fa no ho odwen the government no ho nti nipa wu ho pa ne nya de ketwa ansana onoara e de ship no de Ghana fo no the same screen no a processing no busy at time Ghana fo ne DBA Nigeria this time the yan ko process ya yan crofo say na be Nigeria for mfrefre nti that delay and stampede nipa ewu ya nya de ketwa and they caused by ourselves our government
wow
nia eto de by no na sania America no and say Mahatma Gandhi the one who fought for the independence of India can say be the pa or say having read the entire Bible I came to the understanding that an eye for an eye will make the world go blind. Enti so be aye wo bone no nche say ye bitu aneka. What you say? Entini ya nananom ka say so obi afum kuma yamfom enwa. What you say? Obi aboa no waye another person aye mistake akoku no. Wo so say my mistake medwa ma ho ne kama me ba beri. You are one second person, you are worse than the first one who made a mistake. Enti Nigeria for na year ni Ghana for aye bi no. President Buhari January 1983 na opam Ghana. That same year, towards the end of the year, 31st December 1983, ana ye two na ban eguye. Ye shehu shagari ana di sa aboni na me pacha say Buhari eba betu na ban gu December the same year. Sani abuzi anso eto no. Ana me pacha say sa physical things no. Yes, ana spiritually ni yakan wo throsemu. Wembu na me person ka ye prophets no. Emphasizes no many be papa until free one so Nigeria so enye papa da ene ye mienu ye te ha na me ba hokra but onu musuoma me na membe busa follow up questions kakra abusia sa fe no join ya ahaye okay 101.7 ya ne Dr. Yaw Anokye Frimpong Esquire wa ye lawyer and osan historian hintasema papa yi eden adi kire ne no in fact yente enyansem a wo mo pese yete mponti no wo mo de ahyefom wo mo meyente but enani yete enoma na siye ntina ohia Nigeria ne Ghana ne yabete center for say o say
no na say yin de yete pempem na the right thing as Nigeria ye no munye they need national repentance and na Ghana for so hia national repentance na Ghana de aname kan sem bi de kirao me say ya yebone ankase miensa emu baako ene Nigeria de no a ye no ye say ye ade bi anyankopon de ye bone ebeche oh da say nyame wo say me man eye den wa ye bone atuatua na say oda no ho esakra na wosu efrem a me nyankopon me de me man mfom so be den ebeche
ya manu ntina president Mamade a national thanksgiving ya bayana
mpacho national thanksgiving wo eti se wakọ asori na okọ akotua sika na wo sika wo nyina watua edi amanyame ene ye mfra ne title na wo sha that to din say 1/10 of my income na me de ko manyame a eno ne mfra ne title enti mra so say esi ye fa asofo ankese ne ye sha that to din say the 1966 overthrow of Kwame Nkrumah what you say hwe obi obeka se Kwame Nkrumah enye dibonye ni te se me ne wo no na nipa no waye boni ati anyame efi se ohene Solomon wo si temple no wo se obi biara obeba sa asorofie ha no de ne boni ba beto wani no fa ne boni cha ne efi se nipa biara ni wo se wonye boni da Nkrumah ye dibonye ni te se me ne wo na mom se nipa no a wo adwene se in the 1960s early 1960s nuclear weapons ya Iran pese omu yebi edin tokwa kase yaba yesi Saddam Hussein pese oyebi edin tokwa kase yaba enam so a wodi ewuye na papa wedi oyebi free ewo kwabenya edi amount in the 60s na nuclear friend atomic ntina na ewo kwabenya atomic no obi a amount Temahabo and the whole township akosombo township akosombo dam bibi obediri mu bia na oye de amount tam oye eyi no Akrate Mamoto Road mpacha na bi ni Africa ha o na bi ni Africa na European countries wo bi no Britain na Germany ana no mu oba ni Holland no bi ani bi wo ho Akrate Mamoto Road no na so je independence no so or build a country that will be comparable to any first world country in the world inti tamu a wo wuye no Hofu Abuanya say if Nkrumah made mistakes it was because he wanted to do better than the rest of us and Kenneth Kaunda say Africa can never overcome the 1966 coup of Ghana. And your friend is saying, Mugabe, also say, go and ask President Kufuor, he will tell you, Ghana stopped growing in the 60s. Kufuor and Tumi and Yano. Or can Parliament at the chair, your friend say, Zimbabwe opposition leader be no person they Ghana Zimbabwe and Puano. So what do you mean? When him time Ghana stop growing. Wow. What you see? And to say nipa we say no, utu na bengu egu nenimu asia. Na spiritually so nya na meka da for meka. Your baby or the soul kwa share ya. Provided they say adi a oje no.
enya ne dia no de ba be ye ni ma ye nko ade a wo de be ma no nti want me enwie no asunsun sanso no it is the country that pays for it and dem hu sasofo bebre kura hunu aka wa na ehu no ma ese ye na nyame eyi sa eyi akwanua no free fanse akwanua no free ye kom no ye nye ena
wow. And why say our elders must really tell us the truth as Ghanaians, so the younger generation can make amends. This life is spiritual, and we really reap what we sow.
Mame fanto aso kanchira abrante no wasando sai no I know say sa bone ne yedi in 1966 against Kwame Nkrumah no ye wie no nimade obioma yesan eye the year 1979 ana Flight Lieutenant Rollins ku etu akufo aban tu aban no na moja onni for we President Nkrumah free had the best head of state ever General Champon. I mean obia enim ne toso me ensa ye Mahama umu aka ne de me hu ne obia ba be ye and it's a fact what you say na Mahama wan ye hwe kura hwe Kotoka International Airport. Oh, yeah. Accra International Airport. Oh Jesus. Now what will be our bedroom? Accra International Airport. No who say. Yeah. Abrofo ne de ani BT say who ni perfita bebre wo ho. Near de no who ni patum ho. And a UGM so say University of Ghana Medical Center MC no. Ha.
The circle die.
And the circle die. Utumu say waye bi. So bia ba Rollins 19 years. And otumi ye we mu bia nke was anoma 19 region bia. Aha. Nti ye kasa anya say ye pa obi sini bi. Ne ye hunu ene ye di ho.
Mama chi betimi de kofo aba.
Mamachi ubetume de kufuo aba ubetume de pato ya asomdwe yin no ne ata mills mo bisa na ne me pa kira ne se ukokofa General Champon a wono besisi dams da wanya irrigation any your friend say any time operation feed yourself Nkrumah time cry Ghana ntumi a export to aduane e Champon to me export to aduane magana nya sika ma e Champon anko IMF amo mai wo toya in Bible beka say each man under his fig tree na papa we utumi kofa na wa bonutuo ukun for no apparent reason ukun ne kan follower back on General Ituka ikum won wie na university students of Ghana those days see na 8 year na instead they say mobile demonstration na mokuta placards what ya trust say stop the bloodshed. Rather placards ekura wo mu yina ya trust say let the blood flow.
Wow.
Let the blood flow.
Wow.
Until ye Flight Lieutenant Rollins said there. Bible mu Herod. Okokum nyame nipa bi a Israel for no budget no so he proceeded to do worse. Enti ye Rollins said there atonsa free champo chidifo ani bi. Budget ndifo hwe no maybe a yo papa we fairly no do 40 years your time no yeah foreign affairs commissioner young guy of Navrongo na your friend say omra na northerners opinion leaders ni be say we must say champion ye kum no okwa ye bekun what's there be me mind na me som no me nye boni biara nti me nyi so obi ebekume Rear Admiral Amedome your friend say omra ofri volta ho kita na awo mafia onye popro e ka kire ne sa wokwa ebeku what's dabi body by na maye a mekwa obi betimi ekumi no aba bedru nkran no watumi aka kire ne say the reason why our friend ne say wo mu aye ba beku ho na kanfo na doso e wasinim nti kokunkum akanfo na akanfo no sori the civil war beba na kokum obi papa for tribal balance
for no reason o
masa menya ibani o but do you think say me papa nka be me de oye obi kuno na no so fe Amedome no me won bi da e we ase we are phone in your beka kire ho Amedome wa gene glasses navy commander yan time primary school no commissioners ni na omo pictures bobo ho nti ni enim wo mu nyina nto kasa menless wo mu nyina meye ana kotei Evers Masha ya boache ye friend say General Akufo na safuei ukunkum wo mu nyina a wo mu nye boni biala wasase we say so omunye boni bia enti sa moja hwie go nsa ma mo afri fadin free fade no deserve ono ani wuo ono no nye champion followers ni bi ono no otu nkroma aban egu ye no woni ma de bi o ya announcement say obi obohu ne nzemani bia onku no eno no nzemafo watu omo papa aban egu omo no munye the next thing say ukọ nkroma krom preparatory school bi e wo ho eya nya ne ba preparatory school o se kwa ame nkroma si school bi e te sa chimota e wo ho woni mi say school eya national asset no o me yabubu ni nyina gu for medija to
just because
esi nkroma krom ana ayi workers were inside na man ba ko a 2 years ago free US Professor Kenya beka ho asem o se free ho no omo ana omo wa around no obi antumi fa meeting kan na no da adentira tama nipa wom na nipa no ehye ayi no ye fa ne say smell na e ba no ha etise wototo
enam
pepe nti waso no ne nam fofo nyina besi nne e champ akufu afrifa na yes a oda no si enkonkwa na mmom wo wie ne de wo said the same Ghana sika no eyese wo bubu wo krom krobo dan ni nyina na wo si no estate wo se nkrom asi preparatory school won krom
wonti ase
wo de wo ja Kumasi ho second capital of the country nipa pressure ewo city no so ye hia dan wugya nkran ne tamane secondary takwa de bubu ukuro mi dan nyina na oni mi din ode ma no was a model village na we na be magana fo ahwe so ne ya build all villages to be like Krobo we say we ya Ghana Rolls-Royce ba kopa Queen Elizabeth ba Ghana nkroma edi kokko hia no adenti na isi kwa nkroma mausoleum say Ghana for yempa disia e ya free fana owi ade koye yes owi ade koye eni hu account wo wi ase mu ba bia say head of state wo kọ no wode kwanya obi anso na ede ema no na menya nu na ehia me Rolls-Royce no eye ade anipa de ne say de bia depreciate na ne ehia me is the spiritual factor say wo no ni wu a wo wi ne de ende no wafom obi a ntina obi a handi over 69 yekum nipa 79 ye befa wo de wo ka ho kokum na moja nso aye ne nsa ho ma wo kan se yenkum nzamafo yina wo san so General Bawa Army Commander ukwato na yire ne ma anim wo fire no ma papa no wu wo ni moja mu wo ne ma anim ede na yekum nipa 79 ni kuromfo dagombafo enhwe ma yemfa wo nka ho enkum obi na mom innocent people like a champion like a Kufu like Yabuache woti ase utuka feli kote safo we amedome na ukum wo mu a na make us for 3 transgressions of this country. The first one was the overthrow of Nkrumah. The second one, alliance compliance order, the way we treated our own brothers, Nigerians. And then the third one, and how we killed the champion and his followers. I know woman your mind no bunny bia me pacho besi ne bia no beto makacha say general champion dan nie. Ana Kufu dan nie ana we fie ni ana we na wi o man ni sika de kokotoe omo abesom wo man wo frefre wo no omunnim so omunye abani biara apart from Afrifa ya sha da kwachi no woni fie no omo akanyina ya nkwachi obi a efi so omunnim se no omunye abani na wo hwie wo mojagu na university students etumi church placards say let the blood flow me pacho. The nation has to cleanse itself spiritually.
Now, Papa, nyame ya adomo a ekoye ni mo Yesu ade no. Ewo mu anso a ye behwe other countries no so. Ti se bia Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire mo say ye be pese be sua ade afri ho so Togo nom ye bete papa bi efe ne ya ade ma ye bete ufuo bwanyi ye be sua ade. Now face one question bi ehia me pa ye. Nanka me pese one day ye hunu the typical indigenous Ghanaian. Yakasu obi ye Ghana ni ahwan mu na ye Ghana for pa ko ye nya ntia se abakosem kire se ye nyina ye ahoho na ye be pie o manim na ahwanum na chichire Ghana tribal ben na Ghana ye omo dia
ye nyina ye dia na omo ye nyina beto wo no omo ni gwanfo no gwan ukọ Eastern region ukugwa fuyi latte fo otiase ye wo fa volta nkonya lolobi alavanyo uko nota Mahama Krumfo no from Gonja ana woba ya Brownfo mo oba central regional ewutu senya ensaafo no breku fo no
ne
asebufo omo na yanyina beto won nti yakasa wan na man ye won de na egwanfo no na omo yanye ba na yekuta superior technology nti yetumi overpower won so easily na ye subdue won na omo abaye nketewa na momo bibia oka gwan kasa te se mahama kromfo no mahama na hu ni so esrem ni se bio technical on yesrem ni o gonja fo no omo nuanom ne direct ni akwapemfo latefo no ene wunibafo no omo nyina nipa ba ko safo ne yebeto wo mu ewa ha nti to da bi na ye kan se mi ye se ye to sebe kakra obi nye nipa nsene obi ye nyina ye ba ko yebeto wo
Yamishra. Yamishra. Ye ko ide na de betwato.
Oh, nyam de betwato na the same xenophobic attacks no. Say near South Africa for eye no. Ombetua ho ka spiritually pa. Ena yenso sa wote nea meken ya na sabio voter region na wo a menya wa adwen say korona wo so no nyame bo ma wo nko a e de ahoho na de kekere man. Sa wo wasa nya wo nko a wo de wo da gomba nya wo nko a wo de obi anya ahoho wo ba bia ye nyina ya nyankopon adehye na se obi ya ahoho de a ene ye nyina ya ahoho e wo asase we se so medase
medase na obi nya wa akwanya wo ho so ana wo office bibisa ana no de
mpacha makoye lawyer ni no
okay
what do number to dwa no so be another problem because wo pe clients
but obi nya wa ohumi a obehu
na kind of publicly there just say me share that by marketing me hu yenya sa wo yenya yemra tiasa
okay abusia say uhia papa way for further discussion uhu na Romeo na me producer DJ Melo a obehu no nyame onhira na pa se ene wa bebie ya dwene mo